Well, a very good afternoon and the warmest of welcomes I extend to all. Welcome along here on behalf of the good team at EVES Whangarei to our auction room. To our owners, may extend the hand of gratitude for entrusting the exceptional team here at EVES with the marketing of your very fine offering. It's most certainly been our great privilege leading our auction team today. We're joined by our General Manager, Nicky Bulcott. Working alongside me on the technology where we have the resplendent Robin. Now this fine lady, she will be displaying those feats of both numerical and technological dexterity as Rob is in charge of the all-important bidding sequences we will see on screen beside me here. The astute among you will know by now that Louis MacDonald is my name, and it's an absolute pleasure to be conducting proceedings, but more simply here in the capacity to guide you good folks on your journey to ownership. Now bidders and buyers throughout the course of the campaign, the gentleman that is Mr. Mike Proctor, he has been rolling out that red carpet, walking with you hand in hand, answering your inquiries, conducting your viewings and furnishing you with documentation which will aid in your purchasing decision here this afternoon. Among that documentation, he will supply you with a copy of the Real Estate Authority's approved guide to sale and purchase agreements. He will also supply you with a copy of the auction terms and particulars from which we work. And to those terms and particulars I shall take you now, good folks, as we run through the conduct of auction. Look, it is no surprise to you that our owners will offer up the property subject to that confidential written reserve price, subject to that reserve price being reached as auctioneer and permitted to sell the property to the highest bidder among you. Our owners, they have granted me, and me alone as auctioneer, to place bids on their behalf. That is what we refer to as the vendor bid. And any vendor bids I do place, they'll be clearly identified to as such. Ironically, I shall use the term vendor bid. Any vendor bids I do place, they shall only ever occur well below the reserve price where the property is clearly not for sale. Now, bidders and buyers, as auctioneer, I may execute my right to refuse a bid. If I do not deem it to be in the best interests of our owners. If a dispute during the bidding happens to arise, I shall simply arbitrate that dispute. Though as it may be, I shall be a numerical conductor throughout that sweet symphony of the bidding. Follow my lead along to that grand finale of the call, which will be signified with the percussive beat of my gavel coming down on the rostrum like so. If you so happen to find yourself in that very fortunate position of holding that highest bid, well, congratulations, you are deemed to be our purchaser. Your obligations are therefore twofold. Sign your name on the memorandum of contract and pay a deposit of an and easy 10% of the purchase price. Bidders and buyers, good folks, those are your obligations. At this juncture will be ample if you do have any questions pertaining to that conduct of auction. Jolly good, I shall take from your silence that you're as comfortable with those terms as I am as we look toward our premier offering here, brought to the rostrum by the gentleman Mr. Mike Proctor. He's been with you every step of the way at this exquisite offering here at 6 Jesse Street off Riverside, more formally described as that estate in freehold, enveloped with some 2,363 square metres more or less, as we say, comfortably over the half acre for those of a wiser generation than myself of that prime Riverside terra firma, being lot 2 and 3, deposit plan 36733, fully contained and described on records of title volume NA 9804096, together with volume NA 9804097, both of the North Auckland Land Registry. Vacant possession, that affords you on that settlement date described there is some 15 working days after the date of this agreement. In some 3 weeks, the keys could be yours. But good folks, let's reflect upon the magnificence, the sophistication and the value that such an offering affords. The offering, well, it is high above the rooftops of Riverside, where the cul-de-sac ends and that skyline, well, it simply begins. It's a home that feels like that breath held in pure wonder. Renovated with grace and wrapped in that sunlight, such a residence, it frames the city like a living postcard, glittering by night and certainly golden by day. Entertain with that ease upon that expansive deck, host slow evenings under the starlight, or perhaps gather with the ones you love and hold tight to those summer feasts and sheltered serenity right here. Just 5 minutes from Whangarei's heartbeat, yet that world apart. Here it is that elevation in every sense. The position, the style, the soul of the home, wrapped in light, framed in peace, and ready to be lived. Bidders and buyers, simply a magnificent offering for your consideration as I welcome your participation. Opening bids, opening offers. Here to work with you primarily on that cash and unconditional basis. Enjoy that transparency, that exclusivity, that in front of the room chance to ownership in our auction room. On that first call all morning here, bidders and buyers, here to work with me, cash and unconditional. Not where we start, but it's where we finish. On that second call, as that opportunity beckons, but it swiftly disappears. On that third and final call for your time, your chance, so looking for your advance now for a warning. Oh Mike, it seems our interest a little shy on the cash front. They'd rather speak to you than me, but I don't blame them for about a moment because I know they're very, very good hands. But look, to the room, and particularly to those who tune in online, I'll pass the property back into your capable hands. But before I do, I'll place one bid, a vendor bid on behalf of our owners, as that clear line in the sand. A vendor bid there at $900,000, neat and even. Vendor bid at $900,000. Interest in room, or particularly to those tuning in online, I invite you to come forward. Mike, charge your phone and keep it on hand, because I know you're going to be very, very busy indeed with such an offering, and we'll see a sold sign there very, very soon. Bidders and buyers and good folks, thank you for your attendance today at our EVES auction. That concludes. Good team here, Mike and Proctor, and the team more than happy to assist you on that journey to ownership. Good afternoon.